Hello everyone. Okay, first up, props to my little boy because he composed my new intro music. What do you guys think? I know he left a little video on my channel when I started using it. So I am showing you lots of fun Paper House Productions products. We are going to play with a little bit of them today. So I want to do a fall layout. This layout is going to be a little out of the box for me in the way of videos because it is one 12 by 12, which I haven't done a lot of 12 by 12 videos recently, and it's multi-photo. And when I say multi-photo, I mean like 6 photographs. And there's only one way I know how to do a multi-photo layout. As I flip through my papers here and pick out what papers I want. The only way that I know how to do a multi-photo layout is to start by collaging my photos all together onto one sheet of paper. So I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of craft paper here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these photos, they are all 3 by 4 by the way, and I'm going to collage them onto one piece of cardstock. I'm going to back them all. This is how I do a multi-photo layout because I have a hard time with too many moving parts on my layouts. So by collaging all of my photographs together into a collage, it's going to give me some obvious places for embellishment, and it is also going to make it so that as I design my page, I am just dealing with one large element that I have to decide how I'm going to do it, right? So I'm going to go ahead, decide where I want to put these pictures, and then I'm going to trim down this 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock so that all of my photos have the same border around them. And then when I trim it, I'm going to be left with these areas that will make obvious areas for embellishment. And then as I move and decide on placement and different things, I have essentially turned my multiple photos into one large block of photos that I have to deal with. And that just works better for my brain. In case you've ever wondered, you know, I know that like multi-photo layouts are something a lot of people want to see and a lot of people want to do. They're really hard for me. My brain just doesn't work that way. Like, that's too many moving parts. And so when I have a layout where, you know, I have one story I want to tell and it has multiple photos, I don't want to get rid of my photos because in this particular case, they're telling part of the story. I'm going to put them collaged together and create one block of photography. One block with all my pictures, and then just it helps my brain to work better. Not so many moving parts. And then because I have placed them together so that they fit nicely onto an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock, or 8.5 by 11-ish, I have some obvious blank places to add embellishment, to add journaling, place for my title, things like that. And some of this I can cover up. These are a lot of landscape shots. These aren't pictures of people or anything like that. And so I'm going to use this cut apart sheet from the Field Study paper pad. That's the name of the paper pad, by the way, that I chose all of my patterns from. That's the Paper House Productions Field Study paper pad. And I'm now going to punch about 1,000 leaves. Seriously, 1,000 leaves. That's how many leaves I'm going to punch. So I have 3 different types of leaf punches. I actually think I have 4, but I just grabbed these 3. And I'm just going to do this. I'm going to punch a strip of leaves. I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim it down. And then I'm going to punch some more leaves, and I'm going to punch leaves out of all of those patterns that I chose that I wanted to work with from the paper pad. So the next step in my process here is that you may have noticed when I decided on my placement of my photos, I put them towards the bottom of my layout, and that was because I wanted to create the illusion of having a ton of falling leaves coming down into and between and behind my photos. So what I'm doing here is I am just grabbing a leaf, putting some adhesive on the back of it, and creating a row of leaves very boring. I'm going to do 3 of these rows, and I'm not going to make you watch me do all of it, because that would be a lot. So by the magic power editing software of YouTube, I have done all 3 of the rows of leaves, and now what I'm doing is I don't want white space. So I want that cluster of leaves up at the top of my page to not have any white space. I want it to be a border of leaves on top of leaves on top of leaves. And so now what I'm doing is I'm starting at one end, and everywhere that there's a white space, I'm putting a leaf. If it's on the edge, I'm just placing the leaf over the white space. If it's down in the middle where I can add some dimension, then I'm going to grab some pop dots and I'm going to start pop dotting the leaves up. I'm using Scrapbook adhesives by 3L, and I have both their regular thickness foam squares and their thin foam squares. I love both of them because they're different dimensions, so if you kind of alternate them on your project, you get this like lovely dimensional but not like two-dimensional height, and it's awesome. So I'm just going to keep going here. Everywhere there's white space, going to put a leaf. Next up, I want to have my leaves cascading down my page. I want them to be a little bit heavier at the top. I want them to kind of look like they're going behind my photographs, and that they're just trickling down through my layout. So I'm going to continue on this, just sticking and plunking and sticking. Popping some pop dots up a little bit. Again, same thing. Some are getting the thin foam adhesives. Some are getting the thicker foam adhesives. And I'm just going to continue like this. Just placing my leaves all around. Now you'll see here that I have some leaves that are stuck like in between the photos, and I end up pulling those off, but you'll see that in a little bit. So now I'm going to turn my paper over and I'm going to start trimming, and I'm going to realize that I never took the branding strip off of my sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. Because I did that, the layout I've created is a little bigger than 12 by 12, but it's all good because fortunately for me, I didn't make it so that I had to trim off something that was not good. So there's a word of advice. Before you start working on a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, flip it over. Make sure that you're not working on the back side of the cardstock accidentally, and that you haven't left your branding strip on. If you're interested, the white cardstock I use for layouts like this that don't have mixed media, nothing fancy on them, is a Basil Coconut Swirl cardstock. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start by trimming the branding strip off. And see how I have that nice border at the bottom? That border, it's going to come in handy right now because I have to trim some of it off. Just a little bit. So what I did was I put the layout in my trimmer, and I put it in my trimmer and measured it with the back side facing up, so I knew that I had a 12 by 12 layout, and that helped me to be able to make sure I wasn't cutting into anything important that I needed to pull stuff up. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start my title and do my journaling. The title of my layout is We Took the Long Way Home. So this is going to be part of a couple of photos, a couple of layouts I'm going to do about our trip to the Fall Foliage Festival last year. And on our way home, we decided to take this like old highway that has all kinds of like barns where they did paintings, and it has a really huge scenic overlook and just different things that are on it. And my husband and my oldest son have this thing where when they're running errands or whatever, and it seems like it's taking them a really long time, they always come back and I'm like, where were you? And they're like, oh, we took the long way home, which means that they stopped and went to the guitar shop instead of coming straight home or something like that. So it was a nice little nod to something that we do quite often in my house. So I have all of my journaling and my title work done now, and now it's time to embellish. So what I did was I went through all of my Paper House Productions stickers, 3D stickers, planner stickers, anything that I could find that I thought worked with the colors on my layout. And I'm going to use quite a few embellishments from a lot of different kind of places that you don't expect to find an embellishment. I'm also going to start by kind of over embellishing this layout and then kind of editing it down. I find that this is also the best way for me to be able to create when I have a page like this that has a lot of photos on it. It's very easy to kind of over embellish a page like this. And so my plan for that is I usually just lightly stick everything down that I think I might like, and then when I kind of think I'm done, I go back through and I pull everything off. Well, maybe not everything, but a lot. Fortunately, I have learned through many years of scrapbooking how to do that. You know, how to lay stuff down without it actually being like stuck. And another thing that helps a lot is that I get my photos printed at Persnickety Prints, and for whatever reason, the paper that they use, it's nice and thick and it's gorgeous, but it also, like you can pull stickers up off of it and it'll be fine. It's not going to hurt it. So I'm using some planner stickers. I'm using some 3D stickers that are from some wedding 3D sticker packs. I thought about the enamel butterflies. I really did, and I do adore them. I adore them. They're fabulous. In fact, I placed an order on their website for like 3 more packs. But for this layout, I decided that it wasn't going to work with my colors. And see, I put those clips up because I really do love those little paper clips, but I felt like it was too much. So I'm going to kind of fidget with a lot of the embellishments, putting stuff down, taking stuff off, till I'm happy with what I've chosen, till I feel like things are meshing together. I love the cameras that I put at the bottom of the page. I think that they're beautiful, and I think that they worked so well with the colors. Some of the things were a little too bright. I put them down and then decided it was too much. And I'm also going to decide that I really like the idea of having those leaves just look like they are falling behind my photos, behind that collage, instead of, you know, to make them look like they're just falling behind. They're not falling on top of the photos. So I'm just going to add that little one, but I'm going to tuck it behind so it's like one little errant leaf got in. And that's going to complete this layout today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm removing that and putting it over there. And we will see you all again soon. Here are some close-ups. I hope you have enjoyed this layout that's a little bit out of the box for me. Not something I do every day, but I certainly love how this turned out. Have a great, great Tuesday, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!